This is the KISS FM Community Council.
A presentation of the Public Affairs Department of 102.7 KISS FM Los Angeles.
Hey, it's Manny Streets. Welcome to another edition of the Community Council. If this is the first time that you're tuning in, this is the show where we talk about everything good in the community, whether it's a 5K, a free fair, whatever it is, you know, we're going to talk about it.
On the line with me is Robert. He is from D.D. Hirsch Suicide Prevention Center. Tell us about D.D. Hirsch. What is D.D. Hirsch?
Awesome, Dave. Well, thanks for the opportunity. We always appreciate your support. D.D. Hirsch is actually a community mental health service, and we operate in the city of Los Angeles and Orange County with over 11 different satellite offices, specifically supporting transforming lives through erasing stigma and helping people reach out and get mental health. My particular division is the Suicide Prevention Center over here in Culver City, and we operate a 24-hour crisis line as well as other support services.
Wow, that's incredible.
It's a huge operation. I feel really privileged. We are probably the oldest crisis line. We're kind of the model for crisis line centers throughout the United States. We take over 50,000 calls annually for people in distress or in crisis, and our hope is to de-escalate the crisis and help them prevent going any further and ultimately reduce the stigma and eliminate suicide attempts or suicide ideation.
Wow. Can I ask you before we go any further, what is a website that people can jump on and follow us along? Oh,
that's great. Well, there's two websites I'll give you if they want to learn about D.D. Hirsch. It's www.ddhirsch, that's DIDIHIRSCH.org. Or if they're specifically looking at our event coming up, our annual fundraiser, Alive and Running, they can go to www.aliveandrunning.org.
You know, Robert, this is obviously a very serious thing and very time-consuming in your life. What made you want to do this or be involved in this?
That's a really, really great question, Dave. I'm a clinician, and I have been for over 20 years. And a couple of years ago, I lost a dear, dear friend to suicide. And it was at this point that I realized a lot of things about the particular issue that's plaguing our country. We're losing over 38,000 people a year, and there's something like 5,000 attempts in the city of Los Angeles. I had no idea about the depth and the breadth of this tragic situation in our country. So when I lost somebody specifically, I learned a whole lot from D.D. Hirsch. One, we provide a survivors of suicide support group. So if somebody loses somebody, we're here for them. And what I learned through the group is suicide is preventable, that if we have outreach and support for individuals in crisis, which we do through our crisis line and also through some of our group support, we can prevent this, that people who do take their lives due to suicide are ambivalent. They don't want to die. They're in crisis. They're in emotional crisis, and most of the time they're suffering from an untreated mood disorder or a psychiatric disorder. And given the provided help and the support to talk about it, this can be eliminated. This is a preventable tragedy in our culture. So it became part of my mission to really come over to D.D. Hirsch's Suicide Prevention Center and see what I could do to further the outreach efforts we're making, to enhance our 24-hour crisis line, to make sure we have it in Spanish and English, that we're reaching out to people that are in crisis. And now we're developing groups to support people who've actually made an attempt that may need support not to do that again.
That's an amazing number, too. It just kind of, it's something that doesn't get highlighted a whole lot in the news and stuff like that. Obviously, a lot of crime and stuff always takes first billing on news, but something like that, wow, I had no idea that the numbers would be that high in Los Angeles.
Yes, we're finding, what's interesting, Dave, and we really appreciate your media support, because often it does go unreported unless it's sensationalized. So it's kind of almost a silent epidemic. And part of our job here and our mission at D.D. Hirsch has always been to work to eliminate stigma around any mental health issue, and especially around suicide. I mean, we know people are out there suffering and in massive amounts. I mean, we know that there are over 5 million people that have lost somebody and been affected by losing a loved one to suicide in the United States, and that this tragedy, as I mentioned, can be prevented. So if we can get the word out, make it okay, and reach out to individuals and really promote the fact that it's okay to seek treatment, it's okay to talk about your desire to end your life, and make a space for people to do that, we know we can prevent this terrible tragedy.
I almost feel like the people who are going through a hard time, whether it's because of family or maybe they've lost somebody or even the economy and stuff, it almost is better to speak to someone that you don't know, someone who is not going to judge you, and this almost seems like the perfect outlet for someone to actually kind of release upon.
Yes, no, Dave, you make a really good point. I mean, because of the stigma associated with the word, alone, much less the act. We've come a long way in our country and begin to understand that it is a mental health issue. And so many years it's been stigmatized, so people are afraid. They're afraid they're going to be hospitalized, afraid they're going to be seen as a freak, or they're going to be seen as somebody strange, so they don't want to. And often, people don't want to burden somebody with their issues, especially their family members. We're all taught to present ourselves as if everything's okay, everything's going along well. So we have a staff of really solidly trained volunteers and paid staff that are on the lines 24 hours, 7 days a week, doing this kind of crisis intervention. And it's very, very specific to people in a suicidal state where they are exhibiting crisis signs and a desire to end their lives. And we know we can assist them at stopping that process and finding the help to continue on with a healthy life.
Can you give me that phone number that for the crisis line? What is that number that people can call who, anybody who's listening right now might need an ear?
Yeah, we want to make sure that everybody knows we are here 24 hours, even if you're concerned about somebody or you yourself are in crisis or you just want more information, call this number, 877-727-4747. So it's 877-727-4747. So they can reach out anytime. If you didn't get the number or have trouble remembering that or you're driving, you can Google Suicide Prevention Center later on, and D.D. Hirsch Mental Health Services will come up with our suicide prevention number.
And you said you have people on staff 24 hours, and these are all volunteers. How do you get your volunteers?
Well, we reach out. We're fortunate. It's an amazing operation in the sense that you would think it would be despairing or depressing, and in fact, it's hopeful. It's exciting. It's really state-of-the-art work. We get volunteers from all walks of life, students, retired people, people from the entertainment industry, mental health professionals. We get volunteers from the FBI, police departments.
Oh, wow.
One of the things they say is when I know or I want to be up to speed in developing my crisis intervention skills, I come here to D.D. Hirsch because I know you guys have the expertise and you have the opportunity to work with people and make a difference.
For anybody that might be interested in being a volunteer or doing some stuff with you guys, do you have a place where they can go or look up?
Yeah, they can absolutely. Yeah, they can go. There's different ways to reach us, but yeah, if they go to the D.D. Hirsch website, again, it's www.ddhirsch.org. They can absolutely volunteer. We're just in the middle of another class, but we'll start one up again later in the year. And we always welcome them. And like I said, it's an incredible community of caring individuals that take the time out of their busy lives to work on our line. And there's so much camaraderie and support. It's a really wonderful opportunity and a way for people to give back and make a huge difference, to save lives, literally.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people, like you said, there is that stigma where they're afraid that their friends are going to think they're a freak or whatever, or they don't want to go see a therapist or whatever, because of course there's a stigma with that too. So this is a chance for someone to call someone that you don't know, who can, may not even need to lend you advice, just someone who can listen to what you have to say.
Yes, our volunteers are really the calls are anonymous and confidential, so there's not a process where we want to identify you. We simply want to be here to support you. We want to make sure that it's okay to reach out anytime, even if you're not at the edge of the crisis, but you've been there or you need the help or support. We work to de-escalate the crisis in those cases where you are and then connect you to treatment, resources available that will help you deal with a really, really difficult situation.
Tell us about the event you guys have coming up. Is it the Alive and Running 5K walk?
Thanks. Yeah, we're in our 15th annual year for D.D. Hirsch's Mental Health Services Alive and Running. It's a 5K walk or run for suicide prevention, and it's going to be held on Sunday, September 22nd, coming up really quickly here. And it's going to be starting off at 8 a.m. It's located in Westchester. Just think it's north of LAX at West 88th Street and La Tierra Boulevard. So it kicks off at 8 a.m. We usually get more than 2,000 runners, walkers, spectators, volunteers from all over Southern California. A lot of people come out to commemorate a loss. A lot of people come out to celebrate hope. And some people come out just to give back. It's a really wonderful event. It's a lot of fun for kids. There are some solemn moments, and there's some inspirational moments, and there's some fun moments. It's an opportunity for families to come out. Don't be afraid to bring your dog. Come out, enjoy the day, and know that you're giving back. And if they want to, again, register for the event, go to www.aliveandrunning.org. That's www.aliveandrunning.org. And again, if you're traveling and you're hearing this, simply Google Alive and Running, and our event will come up. And all the proceeds benefit our prevention center over here, our 24-hour line, as well as all the other services that we're offering to the community.
Robert, it's a fantastic thing that you are doing, spending so much of your own personal life, and it's obviously a very emotional and very touching and sensitive subject that you are involved in, and I can't thank you enough for reaching out to us and making the awareness even higher, because like we said, this slips through the cracks quite a bit, and people just don't know where to go. So we definitely encourage people to hit up Dee Dee Hirsch, and you can, again, the website is ddhirsch.org, and it's DIDIHI RSH. You can find out all the info, whether or not you want to be a volunteer, or the programs that they offer and organizations they're involved with, and more importantly, that phone number that is available 24 hours for you to call if you are in need of an ear, more or less, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the number is 877-727-4747. Again, you don't need to be in crisis to call. If you have a friend, family member, acquaintance, we just encourage you to call. We have the expertise, the training, and we're here to support you and save lives. And if you can, come out to our event on Sunday, September 22nd. Show your support, raise money, or just come out and have fun and see a beautiful process taking place right here in Los Angeles.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Robert, for coming on with us today.
Thank you, David, for having me. Have a great day.
This has been the Kiss FM Community Council.
If you would like information on guests that appeared on the Community Council, go to KIISFM.com. Keyword Council. The Kiss FM Community Council is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
The Kiss FM Community Council is a presentation of the Public Affairs Department of 102.7 Kiss FM Los Angeles.